Welcome to my channel. Today we are learning how to make a lovely t-shirt. So here I am marking out my starting line, marking it all out, ruling the starting line, and then I'm marking the length of my t-shirt. The length I'm using here is length 31. I'm working on a large size, so I'm using length 31. T-shirt is a streetwear, so that's what I'm trying to teach us in this video. And then I went ahead to mark out my shoulder. I used 8, that's 16 divided by 2. I marked out my armhole. I used 8. I came down by 8, and then I came down by 1 inch, that 1 inch slant. Yeah, I'm curving my armhole here, and then I'm marking out the neckline. I'm using, for the width, I'm using 3.5, and for the depth I'm using 4 inches with 3.5, depth 4 inches. Shoulder is 16 divided by 2, 8. I also did the random hole to be 8 and my t-shirt length to be 31. So those are the measurements I used for this project. Okay, then I went ahead to curve out the neckline. You curve it out, and then what you see me do here is just to cut the slanted path, that slope, that 1 inch that we came down with, and I'm measuring the body. Excuse me, I'm measuring out the body as you see me do, and I'm cutting it all out. So for in cutting out a t-shirt, you cut out the front and the back together. So I folded the sorry, I folded the fabric, and then I'm cutting out the front and the back together. And yeah, I'm separating the front from the back, because for the back, the depth I used for the back was 1 inch. So the width was also 3.5, but the depth was 1 inch. And for the front, the width was also 3.5, but the depth was 4 inches. I hope you got that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm separating the front from the back, like I said, because I went ahead to cut both the front and the back together. Right. So in cutting it, you have to cut out the back first, which is that 1 inch depth. I hope you understand. Please, if you don't understand, just ask me questions in the comment section, and I will definitely answer you. So yeah, I'm cutting out the sleeve. The length of the sleeve I'm using for this project is 10 inches. That's together with the allowance, everything is 10 inches. Don't forget I'm working on a large size. Then I went ahead to chalk my round armhole, and you know the way we cut our sleeve. I came down by 4 inches and I linked it to the tip of the fabric to give me the sleeve, the desired sleeve shape. And here I am just cutting it all out. It's very simple. I would like you to try this out. Just do it by yourself. It's a DIY such that you do it and be like, hey, I made this t-shirt for myself. Yeah, so I'm not doing much here. I'm trying to cut out the band for the neck. So I'm using the same fabric for the neck. And then yeah, I went ahead to join shoulder to shoulder. That's front to front. Okay, before I forget, the material I'm using here is cotton fabric. It's cotton fabric. Yeah, you know those fabric that they used to use for men's t-shirts. That's that's what I'm using here. Cotton fabric. If you get to the market, just ask them for cotton fabric. You'll be able to get this texture. So shoulder to shoulder, that's what I'm doing. And then I went ahead to the neck band that you saw me cutting the other time. So I cut out 2 inches, and then I matched it to the neckline, and I'm using this to join it together. So you see, for t-shirts mostly you use your interlocking machine to do the weaving and the sewing. Then when you want to put the tape on it, that's when you go to your sewing machine. So the machines you use for this t-shirt project is usually your interlocking machine, cover stitch machine, straight sewing machine. Then depend on the kind of t-shirt you're working on. If it's polo, then you might need buttonhole and all those things. However, I'll also be showing us later in another video how to go ahead and do your, if you don't have cover stitch, how you can go about it. So I'm done joining the sleeve, the shoulder, the band, everything together, and I want to give it a good press. Now don't be scared if you don't have an heat press. You can use iron, although let me say it here that heat press is what is really needed to bring it out when you're working with street wears like t-shirts, but if you don't have it yet, no problem. You can customize, you can iron, do the ironing with your normal iron. God will provide. You will buy it in no time. So yes, I went ahead and I'm giving it a good press, but I'm using my heat press machine to do the pressing. I've gone ahead to fix the tape, to put the size, whatever in it. I've done it. I want it to be well pressed. Now this is the design I'll be using for the t-shirts. This is the design. So I went ahead to measure it out where I'm going to be putting the design, because I want it to fall on the main center of the top, so it doesn't stay too much on the right side or too much on the left side. You could do like 5 inches, depend on the size you are working with, and depend on the size of the prints you are working with. The print I'm using here, we call it here in Nigeria borderless, but you can also call it DTF. You can also call it DTF. So I went ahead, I gave it a good press. So for this, when you're working with borderless or DTF print, after pressing it, you leave it for some seconds. Let it cool off very well. Once it cools off very well, you remove the print, and ta-da! See how beautiful this is. Look at the neckline. Look at the neckline. I want you to try this. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.